Hi, this is Lawrence from Films Are Better Than People, and these are the 5 worst movies of 2024, Part 1. Oh, some real stinkers this year. Some real bad films, and I'm not going to get to talk about all of them, but they're some really bad ones. And I gave them my money. So I'm part of the problem. Number 5 is Madam Web, and I understand that Hollywood is a business, okay? And the debate about art versus commerce is a very big one that can stretch back many hundreds of years and go off in lots of different directions. But when you're in a cinema and you realise that you're not watching a movie, but watching a financial obligation that a company has to its shareholders, that's pretty jarring. And it's usually a superhero movie. It's usually that a company has looked through, its back catalogue and said, what can we make a superhero movie out of? And gone, oh, this one. Oh, yeah, that'll do. That'll be fine. I think I could see that working. And exactly how many Pepsi products can we ham-fistedly jam into every single shot and every single scene? It's not a character that's interesting, but even if there was something interesting about her, they didn't find anything in the entire process to try and bring that out. It's like watching a really bad superhero movie from the 2000s with none of the kitsch or charm that may or may not be there. The story is horrible, the script is dull and stupid, and every single line is delivered by a cast who just clearly doesn't want to be there. And I don't blame them. I blame Sony. And I haven't seen Venom 3 or Kraven the Hunter yet. So I don't know if they're worse than this, but it's really hard to see how it could be. This, without a doubt, is one of the nails in the coffin of a genre that really needs to go away for a while and think about what it really is. Number 4 is Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver, and I really don't want to be one of those critics that uses lazy insults and hyperbole to try and take down a film. And I suppose on one level I'm not a real critic, so yeah, I mean, take that what you will, but I just feel like Rebel Moon is proof that Zack Snyder shouldn't be a film director, and that's just such a horrible thing to say, and I really don't want to say it, but this was very prominently a Zack Snyder film. He was the star. This was all about him, and this was his pet project, his ambitious take on a space opera, and it's just bland nothingness. It's horrible. When you're making science fiction like this, you're supposed to be building a compelling world, an awe-inspiring world, full of characters that are larger than life, that are exciting, and you're thrilled every time they're on screen. And I don't know who these people are, and I don't care, because it is like an AI made a Star Wars film, and I know that that's a lazy thing to say these days. That's becoming a bit of a cliche. But it is. It's like there's no creative spark. There's no imagination. Nothing fresh. No good new ideas. It is like someone began to sort of half write something and then let a robot finish the rest of it. I think that it feels awful to say to someone you shouldn't be making movies. But after his track record and after watching his magnum opus in this, I think at the very least Zack Snyder should think about what kind of films he should be making, because it ain't this. Number 3 is Miller's Girl, and there are several movies this year that prove that you could still have sexy on screen, but this is the erotic equivalent of having your grandma walk in at a very intimate moment with a cup of tea. Damn it, this is the internet. Someone's going to be into that analogy, you sick, twisted mug. Now, forget about this film being problematic, because its problematicness is a whole different conversation. This film is lazy. I know lazy, and this is lazy. It's set in Tennessee, and the American South is often very sexy location, but it shoots the American South and its cast like it's a bad tourism video. The literary elements of it come off as desperate and pretentious, like they're trying to crowbar in some cerebral element to make it extra hot and sexy, but it just comes off as a stupid person's idea of what being smart is. There's a lot of things you need to do to make a film erotic. Have I mentioned how unsexy and unerotic this film is? Like, none of the characters are developed well at all. They often come across like it's like a bad Tumblr fan fiction. There's no heat or intensity to the script or the way it's shot. I actually think that Ortega and Freeman are really, really miscast. They do their best with this bag of shit that they have been handed. But to be honest, the whole cast just muddles through without there being a spark of charisma between anyone. This is perhaps the least sexy film ever made, which kind of is an achievement, but in a lot of much more real ways, it really isn't. Still number 2 and number 1 to come. Subscribe for more. Bye!